This week on Erotic Awakening, wellness in an authority transfer. Welcome to Erotic Awakening, an exploration of all things erotic. If you're offended by adult topics or prohibited by law, we recommend you stop listening right now. The Erotic Awakening podcast is grateful to the support of our patrons. They receive ad-free early access to podcasts as well as other perks. Thank you to our newest supporter, me.
And me.
Hi, this is Kevin.
This is Katie.
We're friends of Dan and Dawn, and we are the 100th Patreon supporter. And so Dan put these on us and said, "You're the guest host for this week."
You guys missed an opportunity.
So, we're in an authority transfer relationship. We prefer that term instead of power exchange or MS or some of those things. We've got a lot of rationale for choosing authority transfer.
What would it be?
Primarily, we believe that Katie hands me authority rather than me taking or wielding power over her. She remains a powerful individual and has simply given me the authority in her life.
Yes, and we will also be using the terminology of leader and follower, so it will encompass any version of that dynamic, whether it be master slaves, dominant, submissive, pet handler, all those things. We just say leader follower as a designated role. So that's just a bit of terminology. Let's get that out of the way.
Peon.
Peon? That's a different fetish.
That's a different fetish. So, our topic.
Okay. We believe that wellness is a personal responsibility, of course. Do it for yourselves. But in our authority transfer relationship, we also believe that it applies to our agreement to each other. Part of our responsibility to each other is to diligently pursue and attend to health and wellness. And we wanted to just address that in what it actually breaks down and looks like in our daily life.
And that's not a requirement that we be like vigorous athletes.
No. Neither of us are CrossFit people or things like that.
No, it's I think the goal is to remain functional and able and healthy for as long as we can.
Especially like whatever is within our power and control. Life sideswipes you, and we've had times of illness or and some people have chronic illness, and there's
disabilities, there's accidents, there's things that you just can't dodge.
But doing the best you can in whatever life has handed you, and
maximizing, like you say, what's in your control.
Yes. So that's mostly what we're going to tend to, because we're actually really, really passionate about that. It is something we talk about on a daily basis. We set goals, daily, weekly, and long-term goals for our wellness and attending. And we also tweak and adjust that as life hands us circumstances or things that modify that. So what about if you talk about, as a leader, why you think that's a responsibility into the dynamic? And what that looks like.
I guess I feel like I have a responsibility to be as healthy as possible for my own sake, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, personal responsibility. But also that I owe you my health, that in our agreements to one another, I am supposed to be able to guide and support and lead and protect. And if I'm not at my best, if I am disabled through my own choices, that's an unfortunate place to have put myself. If I can't, I don't know, if I can't walk the beach holding your hand, if I can't go throw a frisbee with you, if I can't help you up if you've tripped and fallen because I'm too frail myself, that doesn't sit well with me. I feel like I really need to be as fit as I'm able within my abilities.
Yeah, and I want to say just one more time, and we're not going to repeat this, that we're talking about as fit as possible. Like some people can't walk a beach and can't help someone off the ground, but they still can maybe look at their situation as a leader and say, what can I do is be as well as I can with what conditions, or diseases or whatever I have.
Yeah. Maintaining health is sometimes eating right and doing chair yoga, not going out and jogging a mile.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
The other thing that I need to be able to support you in your fitness goals and health goals. And that means that I'm either bossing you from a distance.
Do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing.
Right. And feeling like a hypocrite. Or I'm engaging in that behavior. I'm doing my best too, even if it's a different best, even if I can jog that mile and you cannot. I then have firm ground to stand on to request that you do your best. I think this is myth, but there's a story about Gandhi that says this woman brought her child, walked days and days or miles and miles. I don't remember the story.
Could be
exactly.
both the same because they actually
maybe
often
both
equal
days and miles.
each other. Yes.
And brought this child to Gandhi and said, Gandhi, he will listen to you because he respects you. Tell him not to eat any sugar anymore because it's not good for him. And Gandhi said, bring him back in 6 months. And the woman was like, "Don't," and walked miles and miles home.
She turned into Homer Simpson right in front of Gandhi.
Don't. And then, 6 months later, her day timer went off or whatever. And she comes hiking all the way back and says, for fuck's sake, man, can you tell him not to
Oh my goodness, this is the worst Gandhi visit ever.
Can you tell him not to eat sugar? And Gandhi says, kid, quit eating sugar. And she's like, why couldn't you do that 6 months ago? And Gandhi says, because 6 months ago I was eating sugar. So that could be totally made up. Not by me, but by whoever wanted to inspire you not to eat sugar. All of that goes to say, I really feel like I must be
Congruent.
Yeah. Wow, what a great word to just pull right out like that. So how about you?
How about me? And I wanted to add to your part, and you can add to my part, okay?
Great, thanks.
So let's say you were a diabetic leader.
Okay.
And you didn't like taking the meds, and you didn't like the
dietary restrictions
and things like that. To me, that really highlights the effect it would have on a follower to not do what you need to do because of instant gratification, whether it be food or treats or not moving or things like that. Because I think that's an interesting example of that, because diabetes does horrible things in rapid motion to people that will really affect who's there as their support. And whether it's amputations or diabetic comas or all those things and all that suffering, that you're not only making that choice for yourself, but you're also, as the leader, having your followers suffer through watching you do those things or make those choices, and perhaps have to do extensive care of you when it was within your control to navigate that.
Yeah, it's not very fair to forego the discipline, pursue the hedonism, and not maximize your self-care. Saying, oh, sure, the doctor says that, but I sure do love donuts, is not just flagrant disregard for your own health, but also really discourteous at, terrible to your follower.
And can you talk...
Wow, that sounds super judgy. Rawr.
Arr. Sorry, we forgot to say we tend to be really blunt and straightforward.
One
We
of
usually open classes like that.
One of our standard disclaimers is we're
We
pretty blunt, and this topic may be offensive.
we don't coat it in feathers. The other part, I think, is the kinky, fun, sexy times is a part of why health and wellness is so important to us. And
Yeah, I want to fold you up like a pretzel if I can.
yeah, and you also want to have the power to do that and wrap around me. Like it's not just me that's got to be the pretzel.
Right. Yeah.
So having a really active, sexy, fun times, of duration and throughout the day and night is also tied into being well and being healthy.
And I guess an interesting extension of that is not just the physicality of wellness, but the attractiveness of wellness, whether it's clear skin or the ability to
Be bright and energetic and vibrant
Right,
and
yeah.
the things that good eating and good living does.
It's interesting. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I'm interviewing you. This is fun. So, what is your favorite things about your follower? Okay, so from the followers' standpoint, how is wellness a responsibility to Kevin, to my leader? And I guess a lot of it just reflects and flips back as far. I want to be able to serve you with grace and ease instead of grunting and groaning and struggling my way through the day and gasping between tasks and trying to figure out how I can navigate the things that I want to do for you in service of you and actually manage them. And there has been times that I have been extremely unwell, and that has been, what can I do for Kevin today that's within my ability? And it's going to be hard, and how can I still do it with grace? Because it's really important to my heart and soul that I serve you. And I've had those times when I've been extremely ill or recovering from surgery and things, and still looked for those spaces, and they still exist. But when I have the choice, as of right now, of doing things like yoga or walking or eating clean or losing a couple of pounds, and thinking of how that reflects in the grace of serving you, it gives it an extra weight. I want to do it for myself because I want a great life. And I want to wring every moment I can out of this life. So I want to do it for myself. But I also want this great life with you. So I want to see you doing it for yourself. And I want to have each day be with the ultimate service of you. So I also really like sex. I know that's not news to you, but there's
Pardon?
other people listening.
What?
I really like sex, and I like the fact that our day is entwined with random sexy encounters, although not full-blown sex every single time, that are in strange places and strange positions, in strange circumstances. And if I can keep myself flexible and decently healthy and the right nutrition in me, I'm ready for that stuff. And I can embrace those opportunities with you and fully enjoy them. And I can do reverse cowgirl and crow pose, and we can figure things out. Like how to get me untwined from that situation.
I can plow you in plow pose. What is that? Halasana.
Oh my goodness, look at you go.
Yeah.
So that is essential to me. And I want you to look at me and see someone that is attractive to you. I want to feel how my body feels when you touch me, instead of thinking, how does my body feel to you when you touch me? so that's a really different space in my head, and I've known maybe I didn't say that right.
No, that's
But when you put
fascinating.
your hands on me, am I thinking how I feel in your hands, or am I thinking how your hands feel on me? And that's one of my measures of whether I'm at a good weight, at a good level of fitness for my mind. And so, and when I realized that, I think that came to me probably about 6 months ago when I thought, oh, Katie, you're putting on some weight because you're starting to notice how you think you feel to Kevin instead of how Kevin feels to you. And I think I'm going to carry that because I think that's a really interesting
That's fascinating.
kind of.
And you touched on something that I don't think I said well or all the way. I value this life with you, and so one of my primary reasons for fitness is longevity. And sure, I am likely as I age to have less and less mobility or whatever. That's part of the aging process. But I want as extensive a life in as good a shape as I can. I don't just want a long life with disability, but I also don't want great deal of fitness and be done in 6 months, right? I want to have, to the extent possible and in my control, I want to extend my time with you through good eating and caretaking.
And as my leader, when I see you like let me back up. Doing this is not necessarily easy,
No, it sucks a lot.
and it does take some time. And
Mind over mattress.
yes, to get up and do the gym. That's right, and to make the right food choices or the right health choices takes determination and effort. And when I see you doing those things and attending to those things, my respect and trust in you as my leader grows and is really supported. If I saw you not giving a shit about the way what you ate or what you did or whether you got off the couch all day and stuff like that, I would have a hard time being vulnerable and having a high level of respect for you if that was in your ability to make a difference with. And so
You should stop talking soon because you're going to negatively impact my gaming time.
oh, sorry about that Imperium game, Dan. No, I mean, and this is, we don't spend the whole day in the gym and every single meal eating quinoa and broccoli either. Part of the joy of life is kicking back and playing a game with a friend or having a bowl of ice cream or whatever that might be. This is not.
There's naps, there's laziness, there's all kinds of
Yeah, I don't want us to sound like we're boring and stuff.
or gym rats. That certainly isn't the case.
No. And when we talk about living that long, full life, part of it is having that amazing meal that is outside the scope of what you would usually do and things like that. But I just wanted you to know that for me, that really supports the level of respect and ability to follow you when I see you attending to those things.
Yeah. Part of the joy of leadership to me is not just getting to make all the decisions and be responsible for them. It's having your awe and awe, having your awe and adoration. And if I'm a slacker, there's a chance that I lose a lot of admiration and awe. Is there more to it than
I
that?
think we should talk about what it actually looks like for us, just briefly, because people often say we talk about these umbrella concepts and never say how do you break that down? How do you actually do that? So maybe we could just really briefly
Sure.
talk about how we attend to that in our life.
Okay, I currently am doing intermittent fasting, which means I eat only between the hours of noon and 6 p.m. I am fairly cautious about carbs unless like I've got friends visiting and we're doing I don't know.
Pizza. Pizza tonight.
Pizza tonight, right?
Homemade pizza.
My current program involves 30 minutes of yoga a day. I use a neti pot and I take a cold shower in the morning. I do 10 minutes of meditation, and I typically try to fit in some sort of at least a half-hour walk or some sort of exercisey thing, which is often like a functional fitness, like go outside,
Mow the lawn.
mow for
Oh my goodness, our yard. Because we don't have a postage stamp yard. We have like an acre on a hill.
right.
So that's an exercise day.
So whether it's dragging branches or gardening or whatever.
Yeah, we actually love that term of functional fitness, where we can actually make a difference in our household, our yard, our life, and also do something that's like cardio and put some miles on us and stuff. And at the end, you have like, you've got doubled down on something, and it's like, I've succeeded in accomplishing this, and I've taken care of exercise. I love that.
Which is why I always try to get you to blow me while I'm up a ladder.
That's
because
true.
I can accomplish like changing a light bulb and have sex.
We've done so many times in our renovations. Kevin's like, look at this position, Katie. Look at this height.
Hey, yeah, you end up like painting baseboards, and I'm like, are you flirting with me?
Everything's flirting.
'cause
Everything's a flirting.
Yeah.
And for me, I do about 30 minutes of yoga most days. I add some dynamic stretching throughout my day to try to keep my muscles loose. Along with Kevin, I do whether it's functional fitness, I try to get a walk in. I'm starting to realize that I'm going to back up again. We've been doing a huge renovation job. We flipped a house and we did almost all the renovations ourselves. So there was so much of that functional fitness going on, and now that's done. And so I just yesterday said, oh my goodness, I'm missing my cardio because we're walking, and I'm no longer just walking to try to get loosened up after a day of renovations. So I need to add cardio. So I'm going to do like an intermittent walk jog. I do not eat the same as Kevin. Even on a regular basis. Right now I'm trying to, I'm not going to say that because Yoda would be like all over me.
I just want to picture Yoda all over you for a minute. Right.
I could like spin him around and help him. What was I saying? My eating plan.
That you're stripping off a few pounds.
Yeah, I'm stripping off a few pounds really, really fast before I'm doing some extensive blood tests because I have a little bit of a health issue right now. And so I am actually doing a semi-fast of lower calories but extreme nutrition, and it's a very specific eating each day. But it's easy enough for me to support Kevin in his meal plan while I do that, because mine is like protein shakes and vitamins and beets powders and greens powders and very specific. But that's not my usual thing. My usual thing be kind of like a Mediterranean diet is where I would usually be doing. And other than that, like I don't do the neti pot because I feel like I'm going to drown from that. It scares
gross,
me.
Yeah. You don't do cold showers because you think that's crazy talk.
Because it's... Well, no, I do hear all the benefits of a cold shower. You guys can research that if you want. But I think life is supposed to be enjoyed to a certain extent.
You hedonist in your warm shower. I'm hedonist in
my shower. And we actually have a daily blog we write in that we say of 7 categories, I think. Let's go through them really quick.
6.
Health, wellness, nutrition, hydration, sleep, personal category of some sort, which mine right now is studying for my elderly fitness coach class I'm doing. And then satisfaction of the day. And at the end of the day, we blog on those things and talk. And each day, as a habit, we get in there. We've been doing this for 2 years now. Go on the blog. It's a shared document. And I say, how do I think I did in nutrition? 0 to 5. And then I might even write a few notes so I can look back at that. And every 2 weeks we say, what's our goals for the next 2 weeks? And we put that at the front of that blog, and then off we go again and rate each thing. So it makes us really conscious as the end of the day. And we're like, oh my goodness, we're almost at the end of the day, and
Totally neglected that thing.
didn't meditate or whatever that thing is. And I'm going to get a 0 in meditation. And at first we thought it was going to be a 2-week thing, but now it's 2 years. I think it's here forever. And that really helps me be conscious of. And sometimes I say, you know what? It's a 0 day. I'm going to go out and have pizza and frozen custard. And that's a choice I make, but I also notice how often I do it. And so that's something we've done together for a long time. And this isn't a very kinky conversation, but it really is about the relationship. And after 19 years together, being this conscious and responsible about this aspect of our life, as well as, all the other pieces of the dynamic, is so essential to our longevity together in many ways.
So I think that pretty well reaches the end of what we would want to say about that. Essentially, I think we're saying that wellness in an authority transfer relationship is about taking good care of you for you, but that the agreements and the intertwined nature of authority transfer means that there's additional motivation and there's additional reason to put that effort in, to be your best, not just for yourself and your future, but for the benefit of your partner and the relationship as a whole. And in many ways, that's what I think this relationship is about, is attending to the needs and wants and an intertwined success, kind of, rather than selfish pursuit of your own independent life or independent goals. I think supportive wellness like this is a good example of one of the strengths of an authority transfer relationship. Did you have a concluding thought?
No, just sex. It equals lots of sex.
Sorry, everyone. Close your eyes. We're about to get started right this minute.
It's audible.
So, if you love Dan and Dawn and you want to keep up with all their events, book news, discounts, and more, you can sign up for the Erotic Awakening newsletter and get your Erotic Awakening shout out.
Yes.
So,
I just want to add, we were 100th and we got to be guest hosts.
Patreon.
100th Patreon, and we got to be guest hosts. And so now the 1,000th one is waiting there. It's just waiting.
So,
and Dan and Dawn just promised us just this minute that if they get 10 Patreons this week, they'll bring us back again.
Great.
I might have made that up.
So, head over to eroticawakening.com and subscribe today. And you said you had something you wanted to share.
Yeah, I think this is where Dan and Dawn talk about like chopping off tentacles and eating them off boobs, or something really kinky and fetishy like that. I don't know. I never listened to their show.
I know.
No, I don't. I do. So this is where we're supposed to share something like naughty. And I thought maybe I would share a lesson.
I think random, not naughty.
Can I make it a rando naughty thing?
Sure.
Okay. Random and naughty. How about the lesson I learned within about a month of being in an authority transfer relationship with you and living with you?
Is this the one where fantasy and reality collide?
Reality hits you hard, bro. That's a callback to a songify. So Kevin shared, this is me restarting a sentence 6 times, and this time it'll be right. When we first got together, I'm trying to figure out how to be the best follower of Kevin and the sexiest follower, and realize all his fantasies and kinky fetishes, etc. And so I'm really paying attention to anything he suggests might be in our future. And one of the things he said is, I love the idea of getting a blowjob under the desk. And I thought, how do we both fit in there and I blow you at the same time? I don't get it. Not a very big desk. No. So you're sitting at the desk. You're like, I'm going to be sitting at the desk doing whatever I'm doing, probably playing a video game with Dan, and you give me a blowjob. Be under the desk, give me a blowjob. And you remember this? You're looking at me like you're
No.
what?
No,
And so I took that and just took notes of that and put it in the back of my head. And then he went out of the room one day of our office, and I thought, I'm going to just tuck myself under this desk. And when he sits back down, because he's coming back to his computer, I know, when he sits back down, I'm going to be right here, ready to give him his blowjob, just all curled up under his desk. And this is going to be so sexy and hot for him. And I'll realize one of his fantasies right now.
So I come into the room, I sit at my desk.
And he doesn't see me.
And
he doesn't notice me down there.
I scoop myself in and get ready to get back to work.
And so I'm down there, and I realized I thought he would walk into the room, see me under the desk, go, ho, 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 and then like unzip his...
Because I always sound like Santa Claus when I'm aroused.
And then he would scoot himself under and we would have a great time. But here I am sitting under the desk realizing he's all tucked in and I'm in that little cubby hole and he has no idea I'm there.
So if you ever want to be attacked by a crazed clown under your desk or shit yourself and do a backflip out of your office chair, I recommend this technique.
Yes. Well, I thought, what am I going to do? How do I let him know I'm here and not scare him? And so I just peeked my little face up between his knees and went, hello. And
that was pretty terrifying.
He almost punched me in the head. He jumped up, started swinging his fist. His chair went flying backwards. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is supposed to be sexy.
That was so sexy.
Oh,
yeah.
Anyways.
Terrible.
There you go. There's your little helpful hint for the future. Did you have one?
Nothing compares. No.
I know. I thought you had something. Oh, it was going to be such a surprise.
Well, I was. The thing I considered saying is that Dan and Dawn are here visiting with their RV, and I'm now scheduled to go outside and help him empty his black tank later today, and so this is going to be the closest I've ever been to their feces. Their feces.
This is a different level of friendship.
Scheduled today, I manage their feces.
Ah.
So
there's a FetLife group for this.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
So if you're real friends with somebody, they'll empty your black tank.
That reminds me of when we had the plumber in the crawl space of that reno house, and he and I were crawling around trying to figure out what jobs need done. And he said, "Oh, I can stick my finger right in your sewer pipe." And Katie says, "Hey, is he in there flirting with you?"
But that was bad news, actually.
That was actually bad news.
Sewer
we
pipe
had to have the whole sewer pipe replaced. So, take a moment to support the podcast. Rate them on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever else you listen. Or just tell your friends. And feel free to reach out to us. We love the interactions on Instagram and Discord. And contact us with questions or podcast comments. Or just to say hi. That's Dan and Dawn at eroticawakening.com. This is Kevin saying goodbye.
Bye-bye, guys. Did you like it?